in your opinion, because you brought it up today, so we've got basically a male epidemic happening, a masculine epidemic. Now, simultaneously, there's this big push, and has been this big push over the last couple years about toxic masculinity. So, wait a minute. If men are becoming more feminine, why are we having more? I mean, I have my own answer for this, but I want it from you. Why is this big push for toxic masculinity, or is it all just big conspiracy to make the whole world one gender?
The suppression and the attempt of eradication of men is just baffling to me. Like, when did this start, and why the fuck is it like a thing? And I started realizing it because the strength and conditioning world is so male dominated.
Right.
We all joke around with each other, like, you know, it's maybe because I'm used to making crass jokes, like I don't get offended by that stuff. But then all of a sudden you would hear stories of a lot of women getting very offended by this. And I'm like, it's a joke. Like, I don't understand. And now I should preface it with, yes, sexual harassment is a real thing. I do not dismiss anybody who has been sexually harassed, but I do think there's a difference between joking around with somebody and then sexual harassment. Like, there's a big line there.
Or taking advantage.
Right.
Yeah. Whichever that falls under.
Yeah. And so I think back of like I've been doing this 22 years. Every time I joked around with somebody at a seminar or something or whatever, like if I went after them, endless, like, I don't know. That's a lot of times that like I could have made it a thing, but it wasn't a thing. I'm treading very carefully because I don't want people to come after me and say that I'm like saying sexual harassment is not a thing. It is. But then you realize that slowly a lot of my male colleagues became very terrified to hug, to compliment, to talk to a woman. Just for fear.
A lot of the guys don't. A lot of people in the industry don't even want to work with females anymore.
Yeah, it's a real thing. Like, and I'm like, oh my God. And I remember I asked a lot of my colleagues. I asked them outright, like individually, are you afraid to talk to females in the industry, even your clients? Like, are you afraid to compliment them? Say like, you know, I like your shirt or whatever. Everyone was a yes. Every single dude. Because they're paralyzed because all of a sudden, if they say something wrong in the wrong way, then they could be flagged for that in whatever direction. And I was like, damn, like that's not right. And it just exploded into this hyper feminist movement where, like, I understand strong women. I mean, Allie and I have careers. Like, I get that. But also it's like you don't have to push men down for it.
Or vilify them. Like,
yeah.
They're all monsters. Like, that's what fucking scares me is because I'm raising a boy now. And I'm like terrified that he's going to be vilified if he likes a girl.
Or he likes girls.
And he likes girls a lot.
Yeah, he likes girls a lot.
But it's like, at what point are we suddenly like raising our boys to like not even like their natural attraction to a female is a problem?
And the problem with that is when you do that, for a young man, when you start vilifying or telling them that they're wrong by having these feelings or
attraction,
things like that, yeah, anything like that, and you don't give them an outlet or teach them how to do it properly, how to communicate with women, how to like, do physical things, right? And you suppress all that, it comes out in the most darkest, nastiest ways. Mm-hmm. And I'm not even talking about toxicity. I'm talking about dark, nasty things where men start doing really horrific things because they have been told that it's wrong, or they've had their masculinity suppressed, and that's where you get some really gross stuff that happens. But so to your thing, so what are you thinking that, like, how? I don't think that it can be toxic if we're losing men. If men are no longer men, then how is it toxic?
It's weird, but because then it means that anything that is what a guy, like aggressive behavior, mm-hmm. is now like, nope, we got to get rid of that. Yeah. Like for boys, they're telling boys to not be aggressive and not fight. Now, okay, I'm not promoting violence on the playground here, but enrolling your child in martial arts, I think, is a good thing. I think every
Well,
man should do that.
Here's the deal. Let's be real. Violence on the playground is a real thing, and it was in my day. Now I don't think it's so much. Like I hear because I teach kids, and apparently bullying isn't really a thing in them anymore. It's like your slide.
Right.
Bullying happens on the internet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Even in school, people in school don't bully anymore.
Not in person.
Not in person. Like
they don't want to get hit in the face.
Right, because that's what happens, right?
Exactly.
So with my childhood, I got bullied. Me and my brother moved around all the time. We were, a lot of times we were not in predominantly white areas, because of the amount of money that we had and where we had to live. So we did get bullied. Guess what happened? I learned to stand up for myself. Mm-hmm. I was talking about it on the podcast with my mom. Like there was one incident that I'll never forget. It was the single incident that changed everything for me, that made me stand up for myself. And then me and that kid became friends for the rest of the time I lived there.
Mm-hmm. It's like
life.
What the fuck?
Yeah.